Today, I wanted to talk about things that might be holding you back in life and how to kind of flip those things around and reframe them so you can learn to kind of change the way you see yourself, because the way you see yourself is the way that you see your whole life. And everything gets projected from you and how you see you and how you view you. So this is a passion of mine, is to talk about self-concept, because in my work, I'm a therapist, and I've been doing therapy for 12 years. Next year, it'll be 12 years. And I love it so much. I see so many patterns in my practice that it's just not even funny. Does not matter what the age is of the person. It's all self-concept issues. Even the young kids, on up to people in their 80s. And so it's just a huge passion of mine to talk about this, because the way you see yourself is how you see everything. So I had someone I spoke with today who was carrying guilt. So I like to talk about how the mind and body are connected, and then how we use our minds and bodies to create our reality. So I like to combine therapy with manifestation work. I love doing that. It's so cool. And it's kind of my niche, or my niche, however you want to say it. And I love it because it gives you more control. I think a lot of people feel like they're not in control of a lot of things. And so when I was speaking to this person earlier, they had said, they carry guilt. And I asked, well, where do you feel that in your body? And they said their chest. And that then we went into further talking about, health issues and eating disorders, things like that. And so a lot of times this person would punish themselves by withholding food, or, withholding something else, whatever it may be. And so I got to thinking about it, and I was like, a lot of times subconsciously, it makes you wonder if you're punishing yourself in ways that you don't even know you're doing it. So I want you to think about that. Like, how are you seeing yourself in general? And what emotions are you holding in your body somewhere, or holding in your mind? Like, the guilt was an example. So since this person felt guilty, it was almost like withholding food was the justification for, almost like, if I feel guilty for doing something, that I feel like I did something wrong, so I should feel guilt and I should be punished. So that's how this person thinks. Like, I should be punished because I did something wrong and I am bad. So I'm going to punish myself by withholding food, or withholding love, or making myself sick, things like that. So I want you to think about ways that you might be hurting yourself, punishing yourself for things that maybe happened in the past. Because everything that you're holding on to, those belief systems are controlling your entire life. And we think a lot of things are happening to us, but I want you to think in terms of life is happening through you. And this gives you a lot of power. We don't want to think that anything is happening outside of us. And again, I've talked about this multiple times, but all of these things started to solidify in my own mind, because I used to be on that train of like, life's happening to me, these people are doing things to me, and all this stuff happened to me. And I have had a lot of trauma happen to me in my life. But when you stay stuck in those stories, which they are things that happen to you, but they aren't who you actually are at your core. That is not who you are. That's what happened to you. But when we make a meaning of all those what they call negative cognitions. So when EMDR therapy, we come up with these negative core cognitions, these beliefs. And so a lot of them are like, I am unworthy, I am bad, I'm responsible, things like that. And if you feel like you're bad, you're carrying shame. Shame is not behavioral. It's like, I am bad. Like, I am a bad person. That's what shame is. And I think a lot of people hold shame in that have been abused or neglected. Guilt for really anything that happens in childhood can turn into guilt. The smallest thing can turn into a negative cognition. And so that's just a negative belief system that begins in childhood. So really pay attention to, what must I believe about myself? What must I believe is true to think this, whatever this is? And really examine those things. And another big thing is that I find that it's a lot easier to think about manifestation and how to create on purpose when we're feeling a little bit better inside, when we're feeling kind of desperate and panicky. To me, it's harder to turn on the good feeling thoughts. You know what I mean? It takes a little more effort. So I like to relax first, regulate emotions, regulate the body, regulate the nervous system. So you've got your autonomic nervous system, and you've got the parasympathetic and sympathetic nerves. And so we want to turn on the parasympathetic because that's the rest and digest, what they call the rest and digest. And the sympathetic is more fight or flight. And I think a lot of us are in sympathetic right now during the holidays. It can get kind of turned up. Something about starting with Black Friday is just like boom, like the whole month is like just a little bit crazier. I don't know about you guys, but it just seems faster paced for some reason. And it could be the 100 emails we get about Black Friday. I don't know if you guys get 100 emails, but I'm pretty sure I probably got at least 100 today about Black Friday sales. It was crazy. And I'm unsubscribing from so many. No offense to anybody, but it's just a lot. And so we're bombarded by so many things. Even just having, our phones go off and ringing all the time. And even if it's vibrating or you've got a watch on, I had to stop wearing my Apple Watch because it was just too distracting to me. So my point is that we want to take control of our minds as much as possible and think on purpose. We want to use our minds for what I feel they're supposed to be used for, not being controlled by something outside of us, but us taking the reins and saying, okay, I'm going to directly, consciously direct my thoughts towards what I'm wanting and have a purpose behind it. Have a faith behind it that, yeah, I'm going to visualize this. This is my vision. And I'm going to purposely direct my thought towards this. I like to think of it in terms of like a clean, pure thought with no distractions. And this takes some time to practice. It's definitely a skill to develop. I think it's fun to develop it. Manifestation is instant. We can have what they call quantum leaps and jump into the next, parallel reality and, the next identity. We can do those things overnight. Instantly. And I think a lot of those instantaneous things that happen like that are because somebody hits rock bottom and they're just like, whatever that rock bottom is for them. And they're just like, I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm done. Let's go. And boom, they're there. But I think a lot of times when there's not enough urgency maybe, or not enough pain, I don't know what it is. Everybody's so different. And I don't claim to have all the answers about any of this stuff. I just love to talk about the possibilities on this channel because I love the fact that we can use our minds to create anything we want. And it just takes one conscious step to decide, I'm going to go this way, and then I'm going to go this way. Oh, and then I'm going to go this way. And as soon as you take little steps here and there, then more steps open for you to take. More opportunities, more possibilities show themselves that wouldn't have been able to be seen if you hadn't shifted your mental state and taken these different steps. So I want you to think in terms of I need to shift my mental state. How am I going to do that? And so it's really, really smart to make sure your emotions are regulated and you're not, in the parasympathetic nervous system the sympathetic nervous system where you're in fight or flight and you're just kind of go in your mind, or people pleasing. So there's fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. We forget about fawning. Fawning is like a people pleaser. Fawning is the peacekeeper. Fawning is, I'm going to make sure that I don't say the wrong thing and upset this person. Or I don't want this person to leave. I don't want to be abandoned. So I'm going to act accordingly. That's fawning. We don't really talk about that enough. But there's fight, flight, and freeze. We kind of know what all those are. But fawning is something I think, I don't know, maybe the majority of people, they do that. I don't know. A lot of people do. I don't know if we'd say majority, but a lot of people do that just to keep the peace. So that can also be a form of like flooding in the mind with emotion. And so we want to make sure, because I look at that also as like a form of dissociation, like we're kind of jumping out of our body still. We're like not present. In other words, we're just not being present. And we're trying to survive. We're in survival mode when we're in the sympathetic nervous system activation. We want to activate parasympathetic. So to do that, you just need to breathe. Breathe properly. Make sure you're filling up your belly and not your chest. That's the biggest thing I can say. And breathe through your nose and out your mouth. So breathe in through your nose, out your mouth, I meant to say. And I like to do that second inhale, that double inhale, where you inhale once, hold it, inhale again, and then fill up your lungs really, really full and hold that for a second or two, and then do a very long exhale. And do that about 10 to 20 cycles, and then see how you feel, because it'll change your state really quickly. Your body will be relaxed, and you'll be like, okay, I feel really relaxed now. Now I can think a little bit better. I just think that's a lot easier to do than going from extreme anger or extreme panic to, let's talk about manifesting really quick. Let's direct our thought right now. It can be a little bit jarring. So I feel like just be a little gentle on yourself, especially at first. Now, when you get better at this, you could slap yourself around if you need to, and be like, okay, you know this stuff. Come on, let's direct your thought this way, But when you're beginning and you're going through a lot of stuff, you don't want to be hard on yourself right now. Just be gentle and you'll get there. I even have to talk to myself sometimes. I'm like, come on. But then there's other days that I'm like, I need to be a little more gentle on myself because I'm going through something or whatever the case is. So remember that you do have the ability to start practicing directing your thoughts where you want them to go. And I just think that's so, nothing excites me more. I love that because we're empowered with that. We're not powerless. You're never powerless. You always have the power to change your thoughts, but calm your brain down a little bit. Calm your mind, calm your body, get present, and then decide, how do I want to feel? What do I need to do from here? And check your belief systems. If I'm feeling this way right now, what must I believe is true right now about myself? Like, what's going on here? What am I thinking about that's causing me to feel this emotion? Where do I feel it in my body? And see if there's any patterns. Do I feel this way every day? Do I feel this way when I'm around a certain person? Do I feel this way when I'm at work? Get your patterns kind of figured out a little bit, because you will see some patterns. It's pretty interesting. And just get to know you, because there's nothing to change but yourself. There's no one to change but self. Neville Goddard said that. And if there's nothing to change but ourselves, then again, we have all the power, because remember that everything and everyone around you will adjust to how you are being, not just what you're thinking, feeling, and all these things, how you're being as a person. It's everything. It's your energy. What your energy speaks more than words. Let's put it that way. You can feel when somebody is tense. You walk into a room and you say, you could cut the tension with a knife, right? So you can feel that person's energy. And it's not just a facial expression that somebody might show you. It's literally, you can feel that they're tense. You can feel the tension in the room, the anger in the room, the grouch in the room, whatever. And so you got to watch that energy. What are you emitting from yourself? And it can be a humbling experience to think about. You're like, I'm this way, but then like your energy might be putting off the opposite, and you don't even know it. So it's just, it's so beneficial to figure out what signal am I emitting to the universe through my energy, and how clean and pure are my thoughts to where they're emitting the energy that I want to emit from myself. And then, is that in alignment with the true person I want to become, or the things that I actually want to show up in my life? Am I aligning with that today? So yeah, remember to calm your body and think about what are the things that I'm thinking about on a daily basis that might be hurting me or that might be a form of punishment against myself because I feel like it benefits me in some way. There's always a benefit that we feel and a payoff for the way we're thinking. So get real with yourself. I mean, this is the hardest work, working on the self. But that's really all we have to do. That's the only job we have, is to work on ourselves. Other than that, everything else works around us. That's how reality works. It's so interesting. It's so actually pretty easy when you just have yourself to focus on. But a lot of people want to run from themselves. So I encourage you to not do that. I encourage you to be very present with you. And one of the best ways to do that is get on camera and watch yourself back every day like I do. It's very humbling. And you get to know who you are real quick, fast and in a hurry. And, you have to let go of that fear and you have to just do the thing, So think about the things you're scared of too. Like, what can I do today to kind of punch fear in the face and do it anyway? Like Sean Cannell says, punch fear in the face. Just got to hit record. Just push the record button if you want to try it. And you'll learn a lot about yourself in the process. But yeah, just remember to calm and change it. Disrupt, like my channel. It's disrupt, rewire, expand. When you disrupt your thoughts and then rewire them, you automatically expand. So the disruption and the rewiring is the only work. The expansion just happens naturally, and you change who you are naturally. Just all happens naturally, falls into place. Well, that's it for today. I will be back tomorrow. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. If this helped you in some way, please share it with somebody who might benefit from it. And please like and subscribe if you'd like to. I appreciate you guys so much. I do offer one-on-one coaching if you guys ever need it. I know a lot of people need the kind of one-on-one to kind of dig into your story a little bit more. Really, anything I put on the channel will help you, but sometimes we need that one-on-one. I don't know, it's just nice to walk with somebody, and I'll walk with you through anything you need. So the link is in the description below, and I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks again for watching. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, wherever you are. Thanks. Bye.